Rumors are that allegedly these two current Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members are being forced out at the franchise. Who are they? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly these two current housewives or Real Housewives of Atlanta are being forced out at the franchise. Who are they? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Sources say that behind the scenes, things are getting bad for these two ladies in Atlanta. The source continued, everything and everyone are all over the place. The ladies, for the most part, have been left in the dark about the future of the show and their placement in the franchise. The source continued, it's bad. Allegedly, the network has stopped all communications with agents and allegedly even some producers. The reason for this? To buy time for the network to figure out if they want a full cast reboot, a full production reboot, or both. Rumors are that a concrete answer won't be provided until after BravoCon. And at this point, it appears that most OG and veteran housewives are over the waiting game and may quit before being let go. So, the question is, who are these two ladies? Well, an industry insider said, Kandi, for one, is definitely over it. She is the least most incentivized housewife and has voiced her unconcern about being let go for a reboot. Secondly, is Kenya. Continuing the source, Kenyamoore Hair Care is currently a multi-million-dollar company that keeps Kenya extremely busy. Leaving Housewives of Atlanta would actually free up a lot of time for Kenya to expand her brand to billion-dollar status. The insider continued, Sheree, Drew, Marlo, and Sanya are the ladies who need the franchise the most. Sanya said that neither her or her team has been contacted regarding pre-production meetings for season 16. Also, rumors are that Sheree is the only housewife that has allegedly been in contact with production on a regular basis. Conversations allegedly center around potential storylines, but no filming timelines have been set in place. Fans are also getting very impatient with the network, and that impatience has turned to worry. One fan said on social media, if the network does push out Kenya and Kandi, then viewership would definitely drop to historic low levels. They are the last two remaining pillars keeping the show alive. Another fan said, it was sad hearing Kandi sound like she was giving up on the franchise in her last interview. The producers and network are both dropping the ball on the ladies, which could lead to ultimately the cancellation of the franchise. Now, kinfolk, there's a lot of information that came across my desk this week and some of last week about the potential of losing both Kenya and Kandi at the franchise because of a lot of uncertainty for season 16. But kinfolk, there are some parts of this rumor that I do find very interesting, and one of the things that I do find very interesting, and it has to do with Kenya, is this. As you all know, Kenya has been a very formidable force with Real Housewives of Atlanta. She, for the longest, has been a network favorite, even when she wasn't so much of a production favorite. And my sources behind the scenes are telling me that Kenya is getting tired, allegedly, of trying to save the franchise. And I must admit, since I can remember, sources have been saying that Kenya really is a team player. And she does put the franchise ahead of a lot of things, much like how Nene did when she was on the show. But sources are saying that her interview with Carlos King was very telling for two reasons. One, it seems as if that she was very tired of the way production was taking the franchise. But also a lot of people behind the scenes said that her sounding the alarm about some of the negative aspects of filming this franchise as of late was really her trying to bring some changes to the franchise. And my sources say that, unfortunately, a lot of those ideas and suggestions fell on deaf ear when it came to producers. Now, sources say that allegedly, the network did take to heart some things Kenya was saying. Because, like Kandi, the network sees Kenya as a valuable asset and someone who understands reality TV and the production show game. So, my sources are saying that Kenya, behind the scenes, is simply getting tired of the back and forth and production allegedly not putting enough into the franchise to restore it back to its golden days, when it was bringing in almost 2 million, some 3 million views a week. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I did find rather sad, and it has to do with Kandi, and it's this. In Kandi's most recent interview, it was really sad hearing Kandi sound like she was giving up on the franchise. It really did seem as if she was like over the back and forth. It seemed as if she was like, I have a lot of other options that I can really just take with my many brands and many businesses. And so with that being said, Kandi really does seems as if she's kind of over the franchise. Normally she would try to, kind of explain away some of the issues and really come in defense of the franchise when either ratings were low or fans weren't feeling certain cast members. But as of late, it seems like that energy to really fight for the franchise has left. As my sources are saying, that Kandi really is the least most incentivized housewife at the franchise and probably is the most highest paid. I really do think that Kandi really has gotten pretty much everything she needs out of the franchise to grow her businesses. So I really can't see how she could be over it, especially when she feels like maybe production is not willing to work with her or work with some of the suggestions that she's bringing to the table. And also, production and the network have given her a lot of spinoffs, and the second season of OLG is in the works. So I can see how Kandi can really just be over the franchise and really just ready to move on. And that's sad because Kandi really is one of the longest serving housewives, if not the longest serving housewife at Bravo. And it will be very just different not seeing her on our cameras when the new season of Real Housewives of Atlanta premieres. So with that being said, that was kind of sad. Just the tone Kandi took in her latest interview about the reboot and trying to, in so many ways, try to steer production away from getting rid of the whole cast by saying that it would be hard to recast the entire show. But at the same time, she was kind of throwing her hands up and saying, hey, if that's what y'all want to do, go for it. Because at the end of the day, everyone knows that Kandi is going to be good, especially financially. Now, kinfolk, this is another part of this rumor that I do find very telling, and it really does seem like this is what producers are trying to do, and it's this. Kinfolk, Kenya and Kandi are two staples when it comes to Real Housewives of Atlanta, two pillars. And, it seems as if the network would want to be in constant contact with at least Kandi and Kenya, especially production, because these are two ladies who understand what production needs. They understand what goes into making a franchise, especially one like Real Housewives of Atlanta, work. And it seems as if they were thinking about, or if they were thinking about doing an entire reboot of the cast or even production, honestly, I would think they would consult Kandi and Kenya about that before they made a big move. And the fact that they haven't, and the fact that they have kept Kandi and Kenya out of the loop allegedly, it does seem like they're trying to push them out at the network. Keep them guessing and guessing and guessing, and then all of a sudden say, hey, we decided to go into a different direction, or just keep them hanging for so long to where they just pull themselves out of running to be a part of the new cast and then just leave the show altogether. I mean, kinfolk, it does seem that way, but of course it's all alleged information and speculation. But if I had to put my money on it, it does seem like the network and producers are ready to do a full-on reboot of the franchise, and unfortunately, that does not include Kandi and Kenya. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I do find very telling, and it has to do with Kandi, and it's this. I think that, Kandi making the suggestion or making the statement that it will be hard to recast the entire cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta was a warning shot to producers. It may sound nice in meetings, it may look nice on paper, but ultimately it's not the best move to make. And it's not the best move to make for Atlanta simply because Atlanta is a heritage franchise. As we've seen in the past, newbies just don't work out at Atlanta, even when they've been given a considerable amount of time to prove themselves. And when you think about it, it's because Real Housewives of Atlanta was so formidable when it first premiered. It's become the blueprint for a lot of other Black-led reality TV shows across all networks. And the first run with Nene and Kim and Sheree and Lisa and Kandi, it was just so iconic that it's been hard to duplicate that magic. That's why they've always just leaned on those core 5 women. And then we brought Kenya and Portia on. Then it really just solidified Real Housewives of Atlanta as the top tier reality show franchise. And so production just really just relied on those ladies for the longest. And I can see how people could think that, or I can see how producers could have really gotten lazy with producing the show when we had those many ladies bringing it every single week. You really didn't have to do too much manipulation with the filming or with the storylines because the ladies just work well together. And I do believe that's why a lot of newbies only really got one season. We can bring them in. How do they feel with the ladies? Oh, well, it doesn't work, and we can put them out. Because in the back of producers' minds, and especially in the back of the network's minds, as long as we have these core 5 ladies, then the show is going to be an automatic hit, with or without any newbies. So with that being said, I do think Kandi's warning shot was very accurate. It's going to be very hard to recast the entire cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And if you do manage to pull it off, then it's not going to give, unfortunately, what production thinks it's going to give. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that production is trying to allegedly push Kandi and Kenya out of the franchise by keeping them out of the loop and keeping their placement in the franchise hanging? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.